Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2026 Virtual University and Degree Information Fair. My name is Kristen Keogh-Raponi, and I'm an Academic Pathways Coordinator here at Seneca. Throughout this week, we'll be showcasing our partner institutions from across the globe who will be presenting and discussing pathway opportunities that are available to Seneca students after you've completed your diploma program. With us for this session, we have Teo from the University of Alberta, who will be talking about all of their undergraduate programs. Please note, like all of our webinars this week, this session will be recorded and posted to our website and YouTube channel next week for you to view on demand. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please go ahead and post those in the chat. And at the end of the presentation, we'll take up all questions. And now I'll hand it over to you, Teo.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah, as they said, my name is Teo. I am a transfer student recruiter at the University of Alberta, and typically I specialize on international transfer students. So individuals who are on a study permit looking to transfer ladder into a bachelor's degree, something of that nature. And today I'm going to be talking about the University of Alberta, obviously why it's a great destination, and kind of some of the ways that you're able to get to the University of Alberta. Just give me 1 second as I share this with you. Right. Hopefully everyone's able to see my screen. So University of Alberta. University of Alberta itself is a top 4 institution in Canada and is a top 100 institution globally. So these are just kind of some of the kind of stats and statistics that we like to bring up to showcase that the University of Alberta is a high-level institution, and it's one that potentially doesn't get enough credit for the work that it does in research, in artificial intelligence, in even just like generally speaking in a lot of its academic studies. So today we're going to go through a broad strokes on how to apply, what the application process looks like, and just very broad strokes overview of kind of everything. So we're going to start with choosing a campus and program. The University of Alberta actually has 3 different teaching campuses. So those 3 different teaching campuses, the main one is located in Edmonton, which is kind of in central-ish Alberta. It is called North Campus. North Campus is our largest institution. It is also where most of our research happens out of. So we have approximately 60,000 students at North Campus. And the average first-year class size is approximately 58 different students. So it's a relatively large institution, and it's where all of our 200 plus different programs are housed. Other campuses that we have are Campus Saint-Jean, which is our French-speaking campus that is also located in Edmonton. It is significantly smaller just because, for the most part, the U of A is an English-speaking institution. And the last teaching institution that we have is located in Camrose, which is a smaller town in Alberta. And it is a smaller, kind of more hometown feel in terms of the institution. So in the sense that you know almost everybody on campus, you can live on campus at any of the institutions, but specifically at Augustana, you really get to know a lot of the different people, and it's a very small hometown, different feel. You are able to apply to any of the different programs at North Campus and most of the different programs at Augustana as well. Campus Saint-Jean has a few different programs, so if you do want to study in French, just something to keep in mind that you may need to look into which programs specifically are offered at Saint-Jean versus North Campus, for instance. The next step, obviously, that you're going to want to do, that you're going to want to take is to choose your program. So as I mentioned, the University of Alberta has over 200 different programs. So there's so many different options. And even though you would be deemed as transfer students, and you probably already have a pathway that you would be leaning to go into, whether that's arts, whether that's sciences, whatever it may be, there's a bunch of different programs and different nuances, specifically because the U of A is such a big institution, that it is always worth reviewing. So if you go to uab.ca/programs, you can see all of the different programs that we offer at the University of Alberta, as well as a search tool where you can search keywords, you can take a quiz, you can do a number of different actions in order to help narrow down the field, and figure out and find a program that may be very much so of interest to you. Other ways that you can obviously continue to look and find different programs that are of interest to you. You can chat with an advisor. Myself and the rest of my team offer advising sessions at uab.ca/advising. And you're more than welcome to book them. Speak to us about kind of what you want to do, what you want to study, and we can talk you through in a one-on-one capacity how to get you there. The last main way that you can find different programs and things like that is through our on-demand tool. Similar to Seneca, we have an on-demand tool, which is a library of all of the different videos and workshops that we run at the University of Alberta. Again, myself and the rest of the recruitment team run a number of different events, videos. Hopefully that will give you a good understanding of different ways and different things to explore. And then the last thing, just so you know, when you apply, you do get to apply to a program choice 1 and a program choice 2, which is going to let you have a better understanding of, or a better chance, I should say, of getting into the institution. Because if you are, for whatever reason, not competitive for your first choice program, we will automatically evaluate you for your second choice program. So in that sense, it gives you almost 2 bites at the apple in terms of getting into the institution. So it's very important that you understand all of the programs that are offered at the U of A so you can choose choices in your application that would benefit you the most. In terms of requirements, if you want to be assessed exclusively on your post-secondary coursework, you would want to have 24 transferable credits or more, obviously. And the easiest way for you to figure that out is through our transfer credit search tool, which you can find at the link at the bottom there, uab.ca/transfer. Just narrow the field down to Seneca and then choose the different courses that you've taken from there. Minimum grade ranges really do range, but the minimum grade range typically to apply to the University of Alberta is a minimum of a 2.0 on a 4.0 scale. Competitive, obviously, may be a little bit different. Competitive can be a little bit higher, depending on the program that you're interested in. And the way that would work is you would find the competitive averages for the previous years, so you get a general understanding of kind of where you want to be sitting at uab.ca/averages. If you have less than 24 credits of transferable post-secondary coursework, that's totally fine. The breakdown is effectively less than 6, we will look at only your high school grades. Between 6 and 24 transferable credits, we will look at a blend between your high school and your post-secondary grades. And all of those courses will be weighted equally. And then the last one, obviously, which I already went through, is if you have more than 24, we will look at exclusively your post-secondary grades. Again, as I mentioned, in terms of transfer credit, the easiest place to go to is transfer credit search tool. And just as a heads up, a little note, you do need to have a minimum grade of a C- or higher in order to get transfer credit. The next thing that you need to satisfy in terms of different ways on your application, different things that you need to satisfy. So we talked about the 24 credits. The next thing and the other main thing is English language proficiency. There are a number of different ways to satisfy English language proficiency. For those of you that did the highest level or have done high school and junior high in Ontario, totally fine. One of the ways that you satisfy it is through 5 years of continuous education in English. Another way that you can satisfy it is through 6 credits of transferable English coursework at a post-secondary level. But there are a number of different ways, along with, IELTS, Duolingo, TOEFL, these kind of English language exams, in order to find different ways to satisfy it. All students do need to satisfy it in one capacity or another, and you can find all of the ways to satisfy it at uab.ca/language recs, which is short for language requirements. Here is the breakdown. Again, if you're an Alberta student for high school for whatever reason and you got a 75% on your blended grade in 30-1, then obviously you would already satisfy it. There's a number of different ways to satisfy it through international schools as well, previous education in English, as well as 6 credits of transferable English coursework. For some of our programs, you also need to satisfy spoken English proficiency. These are for programs that you probably would need to speak with individuals, whether that's patients, students, so education, nursing, dietetics, pharmacy, a whole number of different options for you there. But these are the ways that you would satisfy them in terms of spoken English proficiency. So you can obviously still take the exams, but you could also have previous education of full-time education in English for 6 or more years, and that would also satisfy. Okay, next in terms of the application process, just give me 1 second, something popped up on my screen here. Okay. In terms of the application process, we really stress that we would like you to submit your applications early. And you submit your application at uab.ca/apply. In terms of the application process, our applications opened in October and they closed in March. The reason that we stress that we want you to apply early is because we use something called rolling admissions, which means if for whatever reason right now you are not competitive, we will not deny your application. We will place you on hold and you will get a hold notice. That will give you more touch points with the university, with the institution that you do want to go to, in order to figure out what you need to do to actually be accepted at the University of Alberta. So that's why we really stress applying early is always going to be beneficial, because it will just give you more opportunity to get a better understanding of where you're standing in terms of the application process and how you can actually get in. Again, other things that you would need to apply for would be residence. Residence, if you do want to live on campus, you get a guaranteed spot on residence if you apply before April 30th. So that's a very nice benefit, a little bonus there. Okay, now, how you're going to be evaluated. Obviously, understanding your evaluation is very important. As a transfer student, we will evaluate you based off what is called your AGPA. Your AGPA is determined based off the 24 most recently completed transferable credits to the University of Alberta. That will give us your AGPA. Now, assuming that you use the 3-credit system, that would be 8 different classes. So your most recently completed 8 classes, the average GPA of those is what we will use to look at your grades to get into the University of Alberta. From that point forward, we will then evaluate all of your coursework for transfer credit. So your grades are determined by your last year, let's say, and then obviously the rest of your coursework is also evaluated in terms of transfer credit. That's how you're going to be evaluated, along with separate application pieces, which are determined by the faculty. Things like a Casper exam, if you're applying to something like nursing, and you need to take that. We have pre-professional courses for our business program that maybe we would evaluate those coursework. But broad strokes, that is how you would be evaluated as a transfer student. Next thing to apply for, very important, scholarships, because tuition, things like that, it can get expensive, and we understand that. Last year we offered we gave out $58 million in scholarship funding. So scholarships are very much so available at the University of Alberta. The easiest place to apply is through our awards hub, uab.ca/awards or uab.ca/ML awards. ML awards just means International Student Awards. We call them Maple Leaf students that are already in Canada, that are international students. Applications for those open on February 1st, close on March 31st, and it is a one-time application, meaning that you submit one application and you're put in line for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of scholarships, and our system automatically pairs you with them. There are other specific scholarships that you are also able to apply for, but this is the easiest way to get in front of the most number of different scholarship opportunities. Again, other different types of scholarships, admission-based scholarships. This is if your grades are just effectively super good, and we want you to come to the University of Alberta. So we would offer you money in order to come to the University of Alberta. That's one type of scholarships. The other type that I just mentioned is called application-based scholarships. Here are a number of them that are available for a lot of our domestic students. You can see a number of them are within that 1,000 to 2,000 range, but there are some that range higher, especially for our international students. these are some of the ones that I like to showcase because they're very set with transfer students. So they kind of hit home with a lot of transfer students, but there's a number of different ones, and hopefully you're able to see different ways that you're able to kind of get some support from the University of Alberta throughout the application process. As I mentioned, tuition, a broad estimate for tuition is $7,150 per academic year. So that is for fall and winter. So that would be a broad guess of what your tuition may cost. But if you go to uab.ca/costcalc, you can find a detailed breakdown. And the reason that it's more detailed is because you can search by faculty, by student status, by if you want to live in residence, not live in residence. So that would be a good opportunity for you to explore whether the tuition or something would be something that you'd be willing to go into. In terms of international student tuition, it's obviously significantly more expensive. This is standard with with all of the Canadian institutions. Same idea. Cost calc, uab.ca/costcalc, which is the cost calculator. You can see all of the different, like a detailed breakdown of the costs and the fees. And then one thing to note about the University of Alberta is we have a tuition guarantee specifically for our international students, meaning that we will set a price at the start of your degree, and regardless of whether we raise tuition throughout that time, your tuition will not be raised. So that's just a little benefit, a little peace of mind that we like to offer all of our international students. Live where you learn. I briefly touched on it a little bit earlier in the presentation, but the University of Alberta, specifically North Campus itself, has 10 different residence buildings. You can live in effectively anything from your more traditional university style housing, which is dorm rooms, could be shared, could be solo with like a meal plan, buffet style housing. This would be like in something called like our Lister housing. But there are a number of different opportunities for you, whether that is in Lister, or whether that's in some of our more apartment style housing on East Campus, where you have one roommate, two roommates, and like a kitchen, and so no meal plan. So there's a bunch of different options for you at the University of Alberta. And as I mentioned earlier, if you apply before April 30th, you have guaranteed spot in residence. So if you do want to live on campus, that would be the easiest way to do so. Okay. We're coming up to the end here. Last couple things that you should be keeping in mind throughout the application process, maybe why you would apply, stuff like that, is to check your status. So when you apply through our internal database called Launchpad, you get a University of Alberta email, which is typically just last name at ualberta.ca. And from there, that is where we are going to send our status updates to. So if you do get into the University of Alberta, you will get an update through your University of Alberta email, and that will take you to your acceptance letter effectively. So if you are not keeping up to date with that, then obviously that wouldn't be good, because you may miss your acceptance letter, and it has happened before, and we don't want it to happen again. So definitely, that's why we always stress, make sure you keep up to date with Launchpad, with your internal University of Alberta database, all of that kind of stuff throughout the application period. Very, very briefly, a little bit about Edmonton, a little bit about the campus community. University of Alberta is located in Edmonton. Edmonton is a very, very nice city. It is a underrated city in my mind. It's known as a kind of small town feel, big time city. We have more than 2,000 different people in the city, so it is relatively big. Obviously not as big as where you are, but still relatively big. And we are also known for our festival culture. So there's a number of different festivals, different things like that, that happen throughout the entire year. Whether that's music festivals like Folk Fest, which is huge, whether that is our Fringe Festival, which is also huge. It's the second largest in Canada. And we also have the second largest cultural gathering in Canada, which is called Heritage Days. So point being, there's always something to do in Edmonton, and it's really, really fun. And I think it's a very underrated city and a very underrated place. In terms of work experience, being hired after you've graduated, it's something that we really, really value. We are top 3 in the country, I believe, for work like employability after graduation. Part of that is due to our stressing and our importance of work integrated learning. So giving you work opportunities throughout your degree, whether that's co-ops, whether that's clinicals, whether that is internships. There's all sorts of different ways that you are able to both earn money and get work experience in the field that you want to go into throughout your period at the University of Alberta. And then again, if you do want to go all the way off campus, we are also partnered with a number of different institutions across Canada, 250 different study abroad. So that could be Germany, that could be England, that could be wherever basically you want. There's opportunities for you to go abroad there. Last thing, undergraduate research opportunities are available at the University of Alberta. If you do want to go into research, I truly recommend exploring undergraduate research opportunities. I did undergraduate research throughout my degree, and it was very, very beneficial for me. This is a very good key dates and deadlines page. If anybody wants to take a picture of it, I thoroughly recommend it as I'm talking through the last couple pieces here. So open house usually happens in early October, along with our applications opening. If you do want to make the trek all the way out to Edmonton, we would love to see you. You can see campus. You can kind of ask us all the questions that you may need. Applications close in March. And then the document deadline, this is when we need all of your final transcripts, English language proficiency, things like that, is June 15th. And that's kind of it. There's a number of different ways to keep in contact with us. You can send me an email at transfer@ualberta.ca. Get in contact with us through the chat there. But apart from that, I hope that answered some questions. And I hope to see you at the University of Alberta soon. And now we're going to open the field to questions, correct?
Yes, thank you so much, Teo. That was really great. Lots of good opportunities and benefits for transfer students. So if you do have any questions, please go ahead and post those in the chat. You can also raise your hand and we can unmute you. We will post, here's the contact information for academic pathways here at Seneca. So you can send us an email or phone us. And we also do virtual advising. You can book an appointment with our booking system. We've also posted the email address for transfer at ualberta.ca, so you can reach out if you have any specific questions. We do have one question. I'll just unmute. Hold on. All right, you can go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
As I heard you correctly, you said, we can apply to any programs in University of Alberta. So, I'm studying, advanced diploma in computer engineering technology. So what if I want to, transfer into engineering?
It is possible to transfer into engineering. That is entirely possible. The way that it would work effectively, because there isn't a specific pathway, would be we would look at the 24 credits or basically the 24 credits to get your grade, and then we would look at all of your coursework. So I assume it's a 2-year diploma.
It's 3 years. It's 3 years.
3 years. So we would look at all of those credits. We would give you what's called a transfer credit report, which showcases what they were transferred to. And that would determine how long you would have to stay in the engineering program in order to graduate with a Bachelor of Engineering. So that could be anywhere from, I would say, probably 2 years or more.
Okay, so 2 years or more in the engineering in Alberta.
That would be my estimate, but you will get a detailed report from our admissions team after you apply.
Because my concern was it should not be 4 complete years because I currently study here 3 years, then studying 4 years completely so
yeah. So basically we would look at all of the coursework that you've taken, and then we would give you what's called a transfer credit report, which shows what transfer credit you get, and from there you can decide whether you want to continue or you want to stop the application for whatever reason.
So should I email them or what should I do?
So those come automatically after you apply.
Okay, got it. Got it. Thanks.
And if you do have questions, you can email the email in the chat because that'll go straight to me.
All right.
All right, thank you. And one more question we have. I'll just unmute him here. And you can go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, Kristen.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
And how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. I missed the first half of the 15 minutes because I couldn't join. I don't know if he was giving me some error message for not letting me join or so. I don't know what I missed in the first half, firstly.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to navigate that is I think it was recorded. So if you do want to go to the Seneca On Demand website, it'll be posted there
Okay, all
whenever
right.
whenever that's available. But the first half was basically choosing your campus, choosing your program.
Okay, perfect.
Hmm.
Because I'm studying actually in a diploma in interactive media design. But if
Okay.
yeah, so if I wanted to go like a pathway bridge to that program. So am I able to bridge over to any of the programs that qualifies in University of Alberta?
Yeah, so there are a number of different ways that you can transfer to the University of Alberta.
Okay,
Your pathway would be like the exact same as the previous individuals. When you apply, you will get a transfer credit report, and that will
okay,
determine the length of time that you have to study left in like at the University of Alberta to get a bachelor's degree. So you need a
okay,
total of 120 credits to graduate.
right.
And so from that, you can kind of gauge how long you would have
Yeah.
left based off the correct
uh,
transfer credit that you get.
Okay, and then it has to be, if I want to bridge over, right, it has to be like under within 7 years, right? Or can it be
With
like can I like come to university at any time in a bridging? Because I was
you,
thinking,
so you can come at any time. However, the chances of you getting transfer credit decrease with the number of time that you've been out of the institution because obviously academic fields, things like that, they evolve over time.
right.
So
be- Okay.
technically you could transfer at any point. However, the actual chances of receiving transfer credit go down as the
Yeah,
as
I've
the
no
as the years go on. If
Yeah,
that
I've
makes sense.
noticed that
Hmm.
within college as well. Because before Seneca, I went to two different colleges. Which one was Humber and then Fanshawe.
Hmm.
So for Humber, it was like back in 2015 till 2019. So I couldn't transfer that. So it's kind of like went down. So I got the
So we
so
will, when you apply, we will look at your Humber, your all of your. I think you said Fanshawe. We'll look at all of that.
uh,
Whether you get transfer credit for that, I can't necessarily speak to
yeah,
right
of
now,
course.
but we will look at it. So we will evaluate it. So you will know whether you do get transfer credit in that
Okay.
report that I mentioned.
Okay, because my original plan was because I'm between college for like almost like nine years now, so I'm just getting
Mm-hmm.
tired of it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking after graduating from college, just like work for like 2, 3 years and then go to university. That's what my
Yeah.
plan was.
Yeah. And that's totally, I think that's a viable plan. Just just as I mentioned, the chances of transfer credit do go down a little bit as the time
But
goes on, but that's totally fine if that's something that you
oh,
want to do. We will always still evaluate all of your education.
okay, so I hope I'll be qualified because my only problem is that I only have like college credit, but I don't have that much university credit. So would I be still be qualified from like that's from high school? So would I be still be qualified though, or no?
Yeah, so you'd be considered a qualified transfer applicant because we look at post-secondary, not necessarily just university courses for transfer credit.
Okay, all
Hmm.
right. Okay, and then so then I would because I when I was looking at my college Seneca's website, 'cause I didn't see University of Alberta on my program. So if I go on the University of Alberta that I'm like interested in type of arts program or any type of the program, right? So so in terms of interactive media design program, what that I'm studying, so what program would I be qualified to transferring like bridging over from that program to University of Alberta?
There's a number of different programs that you could maybe go into. If you're doing media design, um, if you are more on the sciencey side of things, like of that, I could be wrong, but you could do like computer science, or you could go into like media studies or design at the University of Alberta.
Okay. All right. And then if I need to get in touch, right? So I go to transfer, I just email you, right?
Yep, email transfer@ualberta.ca.
Okay. So and then turn the phone like phone calling, you won't accept phone calls, right? More you prefer emails, correct?
You can email, and you can also book an advising session with me at uab.ca/advising.
Okay. And then that would be on the Seneca website, your email or
I don't think my email is on the Seneca website, but it is in the chat here. So if you scroll
okay.
up in the chat, you can copy it and send an email there.
Perfect. Okay. And there's one last question. So is there like if we book an advising appointment, because is there like a time difference within Alberta or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's mountain time. So right now it is 9:30 my time.
Okay, we are 11:30. That's why.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Thank you so much.
no problem.
Take care.
Thank you. And we do have another question from Richard. So I'll allow your mic now, Richard. You can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Kristen.
You're muted, Richard. You can just unmute. There you
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for the presentation. I'm doing 2-year diploma in environmental tech. Is it possible to get admission in environmental studies at Alberta University? And then how easy is it to get a job relating to environmental with my diploma when I relocate to Alberta?
Yeah, so in terms of getting into environmental studies, yes, environmental studies is one of the things that University of Alberta is quite known for. So very good decision, very good choice of institution in order to get into the U of A. In terms of employability after graduation, I also mentioned we were top four in or top three, I believe, in Canada in terms of employability in terms of after graduation. If you do want like a detailed breakdown of employability, there is a website that I love and I always showcase. It is alis.ca, which is the Alberta kind of job prospects outlook board, Alice. And so if you go to alice.ca, that'll give you a good detailed breakdown of what employability looks like for somebody with your degree after you graduate.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem.
And next up, we have Vincent. So I'll just unmute Vincent. And for those that are still waiting, you can go ahead and just post your questions in the chat, and we'll read those out after. And Vincent, you can unmute and go ahead. Vincent, are you still here? Okay, we do have another question in the chat in regards to international transfer credits. So do you need a course by course or general WES if we have a bachelor degree completed outside of Canada?
So we don't need a WES evaluation. We will do our own evaluation of your schooling if you've done it outside of Canada. What we may need is we may need course descriptions. If it was, say, done in another country that doesn't speak English, French, then potentially we would need course descriptions. But apart from that, yes.
Thank you. Another question in the chat. When I try to check on the website, it doesn't show any link for transfer, but it shows of high school students. So is there one for specifically for college?
I don't know what specifically they're referring to, but I assume it's for the advising sessions. In that specific case, you would book general advising, and I do have available advising sessions right now in the general student advising.
Thank you. And I'll go ahead and allow your mic. I have the next person. You can just unmute and go ahead. There's some coming through in the chat. So I think some people are having some issues with their mic. So there is another question here. Just wondering what the minimum requirements for a degree in business as I'm studying accounting at the moment.
Oh, great question. So, in order to get like the best chance of transferring into business, you would need all of the requirements that I spoke about in the presentation, along with a few foundational courses. Those foundational courses would be microeconomics, macroeconomics, calculus, statistics, and English. And those are the only specific requirements.
Thank you. So there's still some questions coming through, but if you do have any further questions that you haven't had a chance to answer today, as Teo was saying, you can email directly to transfer@ualberta.ca, and that's a really good place to go if you have very specific questions in regards to your program or the courses that you've completed. One more question. On the website, it doesn't oh, we've already read that. Yes. Okay. So Augusta, you can email transfer@ualberta.ca directly. You can book an appointment with them as well.
Yeah, send me an email and I will send you the direct link so it takes you straight there.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Teo. It was a great presentation, very thorough. So yes, please go ahead and email transfer@ualberta. And if you have any further questions regarding other pathway opportunities, or you need help getting in touch with anyone at UAlberta, please reach out to Academic Pathways. And we have posted near the front and near the top all our contact information, phone number, email, as well as a link to book a virtual advisement appointment. And we have also, my colleague Jennifer has posted the link to all our other webinars that we have throughout this week. So you can go ahead and register for those if there are any other institutions that you're interested in. And that concludes our presentation today. Thank you so much for joining, everyone.
Thank you and bye.